Your new favorite holiday cookie is right here. Saltine Cracker Toffee, also known as Christmas crack, is so easy to make. Layers of cracker and toffee and chocolate and pecans all come together in the most addictive snack ever. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making my favorite holiday treat, Saltine Cracker Toffee. This one is from my childhood. It goes back so far. I remember making this with my mom. It is so simple and super addicting. You're just gonna need very few ingredients. Saltine crackers, obviously, just like your basic, run-of-the-mill, very generic saltine cracker. Light or dark brown sugar, they go interchangeably in this recipe. It doesn't matter what you use. You're gonna get a richer flavor with the dark brown sugar, but if you don't have that, it is not a big deal. Butter, I like to use salted butter here, and then you don't need to add salt. Chocolate chips, and then pecans. You can use any topping you want here. You can use pecans, you can use walnuts, you can use chopped peanuts, you can skip the nuts altogether and make it nut-free. Add some holiday sprinkles, some little dragées, maybe some M&Ms. Totally your choice. You can mix this up any way you want. So to start your saltine cracker toffee, we're going to get a baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. And you're gonna make the parchment paper as flat as possible in this baking sheet. It's kind of hard if you don't cut it perfectly, but I would use a baking mat. However, if you wanna have the little sides, a little bit of a lip, so that you can lift them out, so you can break it up or cut them into pieces. And now we're just going to line your baking sheet completely with the saltine crackers. And I like to make sure that I have pretty much intact saltine crackers. You know, sometimes they come and they're like busted up. So 2 sleeves should do it with room to spare. So if you have a few casualties in your crackers, you have some backup. So just line them up the best you can. Next, we're gonna add our butter to a saucepan. So we're using 1 cup of butter here. Turn that down a little bit. You want to make sure your butter is completely melted. My pan was a little hot, so we're going to have a little bit of that nuttiness from some brown butter on the bottom. That's not a bad thing at all. My butter's almost melted. I'm going to turn the heat back up. And now we're going to mix in that brown sugar. And it's 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And just stir that together. Turn the heat up a little bit more. You want it to about medium to medium high. So we're going to bring this to a boil, and you want to boil it for about 3 minutes. You need that sugar syrup to get really hot and caramelized and like sticky, so that when you bake it in the oven, you're already halfway there in that toffee creation stage. And if you have any brown sugar lumps, this is like the best time to press them out. They're getting all liquefied from the butter, so just make sure you get all those little lumps out. The toffee's coming to a boil here. We're just gonna boil it for about 2 to 3 more minutes. And you just wanna keep stirring it so that it doesn't boil over. And you can see it's pulling away from the sides of the pot. That means it's like getting to that candy stage, which is really where you want it. And this is where the fun part happens. We're going to pour this over top of the crackers. So carefully do this. This is like molten lava here. This really would scold you. We're just gonna pour this over our crackers. Slowly, because they'll start to float. You kind of want to try to evenly distribute it over the crackers. It's a little hard, but you just go back and fill in those spots where you didn't get it. When you pop this in the oven, it'll even everything out. Things will melt and they'll spread out a little bit more, but this kind of helps to just get it completely coated. We're just gonna spread this out a little bit while it's still hot. Give it a head start in the oven. And as amazing as this smells, and as good as it looks, do not lick your fork or your spoon or touch it. It is so hot, and I've maybe made that mistake on my own. Now I'm gonna pop this in a 400-degree oven for about 5 minutes. Our cracker toffee is almost done. So you can see it's all bubbling away. It's kind of spread out more over the crackers, so it's completely coated. Just have a couple edges, which is nice because then you know what it is. We're going to add the semi-sweet chocolate chips. And again, you can use any chocolate chips you want here. You can use dark chocolate, you can use semi-sweet or milk chocolate. You just want to sprinkle them evenly over top of the toffee. And because this is so searing hot, these chocolate chips actually melt pretty quickly. You can already smell the chocolate from the melting chocolate chips. Nothing smells better than chocolate. We're going to set this aside and let those chocolate chips do their thing. They're going to get all melted and awesome. Just let that set aside. While they're melting, we're going to chop up our pecans. If you're using nuts, it's really nice to chop them up. You'll get the larger bits of the chopped nuts, but you'll also get that like crumbly dust. And I love that on top of there too, because it really makes it look beautiful, like texturally, but also each bite, you'll get a taste of that pecan. And you don't have to use all of the nuts. I just like to have a lot so that I'm not going back looking for more nuts. And then you want to take like an offset spatula or a knife and just smooth out those chocolate chips. This is like so therapeutic. I could just smooth chocolate all day long. Once you have your chocolate all spread out, all your crackers are covered, we're going to sprinkle with the pecans. And again, you want to sprinkle evenly over top. So I like to do some larger pieces to get it completely covered with some big crunchy bits. And then we'll scrape up all those small little pieces and sprinkle them on to fill in the spaces. All right, now you're going to let this set. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour to just set up a little bit. If you want to completely harden and that chocolate to not be soft in any way, I usually let it go for 4 hours or even pop it in the refrigerator for an hour, and that'll speed things along. Better yet, let it sit overnight and you're really good to go. So this is a great make-ahead cookie for your holiday tray. I had these all ready to go in the refrigerator. So we're just going to take the little handles and lift it out and ditch the pan. And now you can cut them into pieces. You can do this 2 ways. You can either break it up into big pieces or you can cut it. I like the symmetry or the semi-symmetry of cutting squares, and they kind of look like cookies then instead of just breaking it into shards. It's a little neater, but you totally can do it either way. The kids love to break these up with their hands. So I'm just gonna try to cut them into squares. And there you go, your Saltine Cracker Toffee. You can see the layer of toffee with the saltine cracker and then your melted chocolate on top with those pecans. It's buttery and amazing. I'm going to take a bite. It's salty and crunchy and sweet and perfect. You can taste like the caramelization in that brown sugar. The contrast of the semi-sweet chocolate is just amazing. With the buttery pecans on top, you just can't beat this snack. So perfect for your holiday cookie tray. If you like this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.